Before we get started, a quick favor.
If you enjoy the show, subscribe, leave a rating, or share it with someone who loves movies.
Or someone who argues about movies.
Honestly, that person.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get these things into your ears.
Every subscription, rating, and share helps more people find the show.
Which means we get to keep doing this.
And that's good news for at least dozens of people.
Thanks for listening, dozens of people. Now let's get to the movie.
Good evening, Dave.
How you doing, Hal?
Everything's running smoothly. And you?
Oh, not too bad.
Have you been doing some more work?
A few sketches.
May I see them?
Sure.
That's a very nice rendering, Dave. I think you've improved a great deal. Can you hold it a bit closer?
You know, 2001: A Space Odyssey begins with a simple premise. A mysterious object appears. Everything changes. New possibilities emerge. A leap forward becomes possible. For Stanley Kubrick, that object was a monolith. For two travelers journeying through the decades of cinema, it could be a bottle of salad dressing. A dry pile of leaves suddenly becomes something more, something transcendent, something worth gathering around and contemplating. Evolution doesn't always arrive in the form you expect. Sometimes it arrives in a bottle with my face on it.
Let the movie speak.
Welcome back, listeners. I'm still Travis.
I am still Annie.
And it's still the 60s.
One last time.
One more time. And then we'll do a little walk down memory lane next episode. But for now, we have to tackle one of the big boys. We are talking about 2001: A Space Odyssey today, and this is a very important movie.
That's what I've been told.
And it wants you to know that it's a very important movie.
It is very clear on the subject.
It almost says across the titles at the beginning, I am very important. So we'll talk a little bit about Kubrick, I think, and maybe our Kubrick experience or lack thereof or whatever.
Sure.
And we'll get into, space. We'll get into space. But before we finish off the 60s, and okay, want to know something funny?
Always.
It's last episode when we were just trying to get out of the stupid episode at the end, and Megan was doing a bad job of cutting me off in a rehearsed fashion. I said, seriously, like with no thought, like it came out of my mouth and I went, why did I say it that way? I said, we have to talk about Stanley Kubrick and his big weird eye. I was kind of talking about Kubrick, like Kubrick.
Right.
And thinking like, he looks a little bug-eyed in some of the pictures I've seen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But one big weird eye.
I know.
That's,
look at
I
that.
mean, I was
prescient.
Anyway, so if that's an indication, this episode's going to be brilliant. Let's talk about what we watched this week. Okay, I'll let you go first this week. What did you watch? Did you actually watch it this week?
I did.
Should we change the name of the stupid segment?
Well, I mean, it's usually true for me.
Okay, we'll leave it then.
I'm not.
We'll leave it
I'm
alone.
not usually lying.
Okay.
So last week when we recorded with Megan, we talked briefly about Shaun of the Dead, which then
Yes, I just heard you, Shauna the Dead, as if there was a lady zombie named Shauna. Okay.
Shaun of the Dead.
That one.
And it made me start thinking about the Cornetto trilogy.
Yep.
And I was like, man, it's been a while. And
Yep.
so I went back and I watched Hot Fuzz. And it was as delightful as I remember.
Yep.
And to be honest, that movie is just made for me.
Yeah.
Like it's just British humor with cameos from,
all the Brits.
All the Brits.
Yep.
And it's just
Timothy Dalton is amazing
he's
in that movie.
so good.
Yeah.
And so it was made for me and I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you. Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright for making a movie just for me. But then I did something that I think you should do as well, because I don't think you have.
Okay. Yes.
I found Edgar Wright's 1 hour student film.
This sounds good.
Called Fistful of Fingers.
Such a good name.
And I mean, it looks like it was made with a camcorder.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't, but it looks like it.
It's pretty janky.
Oh.
Yeah.
Completely. And they're filming it in England, and they're trying to make England look like the high desert, which it doesn't.
Varying degrees of success on that one.
But anyway, it has all of the like humor and just strangeness that you find in his later professional films.
Whippy timing.
Oh yeah. It has all the, anyway, it's, if you can just get past the jankiness of it,
sure,
it's quite enjoyable.
If anyone can get past the jankiness, I can do it.
You can do it. You can do it. So
Fistful of Fingers.
It is,
Megan, you should watch it too.
Oh yeah, I already sent it to her.
Okay, there you go.
So anyway, yes, if you like Hot Fuzz, if you like Shaun of the Dead, if you like, what's the one I have?
At World's End.
At World's End. Go find Fistful of Fingers.
You still haven't seen that one?
I still haven't. I know. I need to.
You need to watch that one.
I need to.
Yeah.
Go find it. You will. If you look for it, you can find it.
Okay. Is Nick Frost in it too?
No, it's all of his like
film school buddies.
Yeah. The lead from Fistful of Fingers plays
the fingers.
The lead from Fistful of Fingers actually plays what is it, like the guy painted in gold in Hot Fuzz, like the statue.
Oh, yeah.
The human statue or whatever.
Yes.
So I mean,
that's like a nice little.
Yeah, he gave some of his friends small bit parts in his later movies, but
fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Those are fun movies. British things have swearing, so know that. But
yes.
And Hot Fuzz has some amazing, like, insane violence because it's like a genre send up,
right?
And so does Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, it's a zombie movie.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to check out Fistful of Fingers. I let you go first today because I have a good segue movie to talk about. I am slowly but surely, I've rewatched them before, but I'm sort of rewatching the Alien movies, and it's a weird, interesting franchise because the first movie was directed by Ridley Scott, and it's like this kind of perfect thing. The second movie was directed by James Cameron, and it's like also great, but it's a very different thing because James Cameron makes big, actiony, like more is better, and it's a really good one of those. And then Alien 3 rolls around, and they hire a director, and his name is David Fincher. It was his first movie.
Wow.
I think it's like 1990.
That's a big picture to give to someone who hasn't made a big picture before.
Yes. And it's sort of a classic production hell story.
Right.
Where, he's a new director, has to kind of prove himself, but it's this big IP with Sigourney Weaver, and they wanted to make boatloads of money, and so they interfered a bit. The producers were kind of like on him, and there's a lot of like reshoots, changed things, and whatever. So it's a very compromised finished product, and he hates it.
Okay.
Fincher like disavows Alien 3 pretty much in every form that exists. He's like, I would never watch it again. I don't think you should watch it. So I rewatched it. It's a really interesting movie. It's a really interesting kind of a disaster of a movie because there's some great like direction in it, but it's so futzed with.
Right.
It's so like meddled with. You can tell that like it's one of those ones like Blade Runner where there's a theatrical cut that's like this long, and then there's something called the assembly cut, which they went back and did, which is sort of like a director's cut, but it's not like David Fincher said,
right,
I like this one. It's more like they went in and filled in the gaps where the cuts were made.
Oh, okay.
But it's not really signed off on by him. So it's like a longer, more detailed version of the story with some tweaks and whatever. Anyway, it's got some cool stuff in it. Like Alien is a small story, a claustrophobic story with a small cast. Aliens goes bigger. They're like military people, and there's a lot. The whole joke was James Cameron pitching a sequel to Alien went into the producers and just wrote Alien on the board and then put a $sign at the end so that it read aliens with a $sign.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. He was like, more of them, bigger, crazier.
Right.
Alien 3 is like back to like, they're on a space prison planet where it's like small, and it's got weird philosophical stuff in it about like how man relates to God, and like there's a lot of interesting ideas bumping around in there.
Sounds familiar.
It does. It's a weirdly watchable mess of a movie.
Okay.
Like you're watching it and you're like, oh, this is a really good scene or a crazy good performance. And then you're like, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
Like the quality control's not there. But it's got a shockingly small amount of space in it. They're just like in this nasty space prison the whole time. And you're like, oh, I kind of want my alien movie to have stars and no gravity and spaceships and stuff. So I would recommend it if you're like a completist, but it's like not a super rewatchable movie because you're like, wow, that was strangely dissatisfying.
Yeah.
So space, philosophical questions,
Strangely
dissatisfying. Let's see if this movie today stacks up to that same standard. So if you are just listening to an episode here or there, and this is not like you haven't gone back to the beginning, listened to all of them, well, honestly, how dare you? But what we try to do at the end of every decade, which is a normal season for us, is pick a big, important movie.
So we did
Gone with the Wind
for the 30s.
In the 40s, we did The Third Man. In the 50s,
Vertigo. And now in the 60s,
2001: A Space Odyssey. So let's talk about why people care about this movie and whether or not we care about this movie. I think we've had some space racy stuff kind of in a bunch of the movies.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Whether it's Cold War or we know we're going to the moon soon kind of stuff. I think that came up in a couple other episodes. So this is obviously a movie that comes out 1 year before the moon landing.
Right.
Funnily now, like we if you're like me, you watch 2001: A Space Odyssey, having watched Star Wars, having had space travel be pretty normalized.
Yeah.
And then you watch it again and you're like, sure, that's what space looks like.
Right.
But like they didn't know everything about everything. And so Kubrick was predicting and filling in gaps. But what's different about this and an adventure movie or a space opera or like whatever is he was trying to be pretty realistic with like most of this stuff.
Yeah.
So there's
in how he depicts space travel.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like the technical aspects of like what it looks like to see a ship go through space and be in a spaceship and go out of the spaceship and fix a thing. And
and just that he had silence, that he acknowledged the fact that you're not actually going to hear engine noise or explosions when you're in space.
It's not like when a ship flies past. Yeah. So the reality angle I think was really important to him, even though he makes movies that are more fantastical. This one being super grounded, unless it was being impressionistic or, avant-garde or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
There's that part of it. And then there's the like technology predictability stuff, I think, which people talk about.
Oh, they have something that look like iPads.
Yeah, they have Zoom.
Yeah.
They have FaceTime. They have talking computers, which wasn't a thing. And so like a lot of this was like, it's based on a novel.
Right.
Did you look into the novel at all?
No.
Okay. Well, it's by Arthur C. Clarke. So
he's a famous sci-fi writer.
Yeah. That guy wrote it.
Yep.
And he was also heavily involved with the adaptation process, although Kubrick is Kubrick. And
right.
If you don't know Stanley Kubrick, his most famous movie is probably The Shining. But he's one of those directors who made very few films. All of them are looked at as like almost like
it's like 10, right?
Yeah,
something about that around there.
It's around 10, and it's like they're looked at as like near perfect objects. He was known for being just insanely meticulous, attention to detail, not just in like the camera work, but like the set design. He picked the fabric for his actors' wardrobe, the scripts too. Like he wrote all his scripts, and so I don't know. Did you find how many Kubricks have you watched?
Maybe 2.
Maybe? How could it be maybe 2?
I think it's 2. I watched Dr. Strangelove a million years ago.
Okay.
And mostly enjoyed that.
Yeah, I like Strangelove.
Strangelove. And then As I started to watch this week for this podcast, I realized I had tried to watch it before.
Didn't succeed.
No, and I did not succeed.
Do you remember how far you made it last time?
There were still apes.
Oh boy.
I didn't get past the apes.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And so I looked at the rest of his movies, and I think part of it is none of them are.
They're not in your wheelhouse.
None of them. I think I would like to watch Spartacus. I feel like that is a movie I should see. That feels like something I should see. There was one more. Oh, Barry Lyndon.
Barry Lyndon. I've seen that. I was on another podcast talking about that one time. Yes. Okay. I have seen 2001 a couple times. I've seen The Shining. I've seen Full Metal Jacket. I've seen Barry Lyndon. And if you count AI, which he developed and wrote, but Spielberg ended up shooting, I've seen that. By and large, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Like the stuff he decides to make movies about. Oh, and I've seen A Clockwork Orange.
Oh yeah.
The stuff he decides to make movies about they're not typically my like, oh, that sounds like a great movie story, whatever. He also mostly makes movies from books. He's an insanely well-read human being. And there's some anecdote, I'm not sure how true it is, but like I think the person who shared a wall with him he would be in there working and maybe have classical music on or silence, and they'd just hear wham against the wall, and it was him like getting halfway through a book and being like, no, on to the next one. He just had like a stack.
I've done it.
Yeah. So I mean, he's very literary in his approach, and I think the thing about a Kubrick movie that is like there are only certain stories that I would want his thing for.
Okay.
So like the very patient, like painterly, every frame is a painting. That's in every one of his movies, but I don't need that for every story.
Right.
And so like I watched Barry Lyndon and I was like, this is beautiful to look at. It's all with natural light, all candle, like there were no light bulbs used. But man, I hate these characters. Don't want to be friends with any of them.
Yeah.
And it was freaking 3 hours long.
So maybe I don't want to watch Barry Lyndon.
You would hate the story therein, but it's got stuff that's nice to look at. So that usually is a deal breaker for you.
Yeah.
That's true of a lot of his movies. His protagonists are like, why do I want to spend 2 hours with you?
Well, that's what I mean. There was a couple movies that I've seen that I kind of in my head thought were Kubrick movies but weren't, like Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes.
But
not Kubrick.
Not Kubrick. So, but yeah, so then when I went and actually looked at the list, I just went, no, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to make a recommendation.
Please do.
Of all the Kubrick movies I've watched, the one that I really love, like it's one of my favorite of these, and I think you might like it if you were like, I'm in the mood to watch.
Sure.
Is Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
Because it's a post-Vietnam movie, and I want Kubrick almost coldly, almost clinically, with just zero flowery, not trying to please an audience, but just trying to tell a story like as truthfully as humanly possible. I want that guy directing my war movie.
Oh, okay. And yeah, so, I get that.
It's still kind of patient and, like takes its time and has the crazy, but it's also not nearly as, this is a silent, 2001 A Space Odyssey is basically a silent movie aside from the classical music and 5 lines of dialogue. Yeah. It doesn't have that quality. It's a lot more talky. Right. And it's just like, I hate war movies where you come away from them feeling like, man, that was look at that soldier go. Right. Right. When that's your takeaway, it's like you failed war movie. Right. When there's no like, why do we ever do this? That should be the question you ask at the end of every war movie. I don't care what war it's about. So I really like Full Metal Jacket. The other ones I watched of his, I don't really need to watch them again.
I think we've already showed our hands in our overall opinion of this.
But we loved 2001 A Space Odyssey.
But what I will say is it's lovely to look at.
Oh, no question.
It's beautiful. So I don't want to just be like, this sucks. No, that's not at all what I mean.
It's a gorgeous movie.
It's gorgeous. And the music is incredibly
well curated and you know beautifully placed to the movie. Yes. Okay. It got nominated for director, writing, and art direction at the Oscars. It only won visual effects. I think there's a stat of like Kubrick, in some way, whether it's a writing nom or a directing nom, was nominated like 13 times, and the only one he ever won was visual effects for this movie. So a sign of the meticulousness and the crazy over preparation, everything is like, I read that he shot 200 times the amount of film that they actually used in the final cut, which is crazy. I mean,
it's not a short movie.
What a waste of film.
Yeah.
There's an interesting story about the premiere, which a lot of famous people I'm assuming were at, but also Roger Ebert back in the day, when he was a youngish.
Yeah, he would have
writer.
been early in his career.
But he was there. And I read his retrospective, which was like from 97, his retrospective review on 2001. And, we did the My Dinner with Andre episode and didn't like the movie. But Ebert had some interesting stuff to say about it. Yeah, he did. He makes me think about movies I don't like in a better way.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll give you a little Ebert on this. This is from the 97 review. He says, only a few films are transcendent and work upon our minds and imaginations like music or prayer or a vast belittling landscape. Most movies are about characters with a goal in mind who obtain it after difficulties either comic or dramatic. 2001: A Space Odyssey is not about a goal, but about a quest, a need. It does not hook its effects on specific plot points, nor does it ask us to identify with Dave Bowman or any other character. It says to us, we become men when we learned to think. Our minds have given us the tools to understand where we live and who we are. Now it is a time to move on to the next step, to know that we live not on a planet, but among the stars, and that we are not flesh, but intelligence. It's nicely written.
That's nicely written. I mean,
I like that more than the movie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, and Kubrick, I'm sure, appreciated that, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I think that response is the best case scenario. Yeah. And I love Ebert. He's mine. Like, he is my first stop for movie reviewers.
I read that and I wish I felt like that about the movie in some ways. Like, he's obviously getting more out of it than I am.
Well, and this is a much cheaper version, but I watched this movie without doing a lot of research first.
Yeah,
and
I did too.
When it was done, I went back and read the log line and learned something. I was like,
about the movie you just watched.
About the movie I just watched. I just went, oh, is that what they were doing? Because it's so silent. And it's so symbolic.
Yeah.
And it takes so much interpretation to try to figure out what in the world is going on that I think it's easy to miss what's happening.
The there that might be there. My version of that question, or what Ebert's statement, if I turn it into a question, would just be, is this movie asking profound questions, or is it daring you to pretend that you know the answers or don't know the answers? That's what I was feeling when I was watching it. It's like, is there actually something here? And I think, we always get to the end of a decade and maybe to a big movie and we're like, well, what did the movie have to say? Like, that's the question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think we'll have some stuff to talk about. Last but not least, there's a couple fun facts. Okay. Kubrick had all the sets, the models, and his design notes destroyed because he had seen what had happened when a big space movie was made. They kept that stuff and then it got reused. We talked about this when we did Forbidden Planet because they reused a bunch of the Forbidden Planet stuff in other movies, including, I think, Star Wars eventually. And he was like, you're not doing that with my stuff. Burn it all.
Yeah, he didn't want people using his sets and props to make crappy movies.
Sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
So that's funny. A thing kind of grew out, not quite a conspiracy theory, but this idea. It's basically a conspiracy theory. I mean, there's the whole moon landing hoax thing.
Right.
People who believe in that nonsense were convinced that when this came out, it was so well done, so crazy accurate that was a contributing factor to them believing that he shot the moon landing.
Oh yeah,
footage.
yeah.
And that still there are still some. I'm sorry if you're listening out there with your tinfoil hat on and you believe the moon landing was a hoax, but and then
Kubrick did not shoot the moon landing.
He did not. I'm pretty sure he didn't. And then last but not least, it's just a fun fact. Hal, if you take away one letter, from
you move each letter up in the or back in the alphabet.
Up, H-I. You move it up, look forward.
Yeah,
you
forward.
Keep going in the alphabet.
IBM.
It makes IBM. That's kind of fun. All right, now let's get into what actually happens in this movie. You wanted to do this earlier, and now I'm going to let you do it. Annie, what happens in this movie? You tell us.
Okay, so there are 4 acts.
There are. They're titled.
They are. 3
Chapterized.
of them are titled.
What?
There's one of them that doesn't have a title card.
Oh.
When they do the hard cut. Well, okay, I'll get there. And the first chapter is apes. It's apes. Okay, this is what's
What if
funny.
that came up on the screen? Apes. Bum,
What
bum.
is funny is that I knew there was an important movie from the 1960s that started with like ape society,
Sure.
you know, and you spend 15 minutes watching
And you
apes.
assumed you had watched it 2 episodes ago.
No, I have thought for years that was the opening of Planet of the Apes
Oh.
because
Like they started this way and then they got pants and science and stuff.
Sure. And so when we watched Planet of the Apes a little while ago,
Yes.
I was like, oh,
This ain't it.
I thought this started with the other thing.
No, it starts and they're like, well, hello there, humans. Yes.
And and so I was like, oh, this is the one that
Yeah.
starts with the apes. So you spend like, I forget what the actual 15, 20
It's like a good 15.
yeah. Just watching apes be apes. And eventually at the very end, one of them picks up the femur of a skeletonized tapir or something. It's that kind of movie.
Yeah.
And basically realizes it can be a tool, and
Yeah.
not just a tool, but a tool of violence, that he can use this as a club to
Starts
kill.
beating up on some bones.
Yeah, and then starts beating on another ape. And so this is the dawn of humanity is tools and violence.
Pretty cool.
And so then there is a what do we call it?
Okay, back in the day when I watched this the first time,
Yeah.
I watched the opening sequence of this movie in my world history class as a freshman in high school.
Oh,
And my teacher at the time referred
Yes.
to it as the obelisk. And so that's always stuck in my
no, I
mind.
think that is what it's called.
Yeah, some people call it a monolith.
Oh, a monolith.
An
That's the other thing.
I think technically an obelisk is let's get into
pointy.
this. People want to know. Yes. There are monuments that stick up out of the ground. I believe the Washington Monument
Is an
represents
obelisk.
because it's got 4 sides and a point.
It's like a giant pencil.
It's like a giant pencil. A monolith could be any shape. It's just a
Right.
big, tall thing that like
And usually
represents
a large rock or something like
yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
suddenly there appears this monolith.
giant pencil. No, it's
No.
more like a giant
Credit card.
like a giant
It's-
domino with no dots.
There
on it.
you go.
Yes.
It's
Like a
rectangular.
TV remote with no buttons. Yes.
Let's list other rectangular 3D objects.
It's a book with no cover art. Yes.
4 pages.
It's just a big black rectangle.
Yeah, 3D. And now, is it hovering or is it buried?
I think it's sitting on the ground.
It is sitting on the ground, and it's just like, Okay, is the noise
Great question.
can the apes hear the noise, or is that just part of the soundtrack?
Most of the time when there is a monolith on screen, you hear this. It's not like pretty Blue Danube or whatever, like classical music. It's this
Did
like.
you say Blue Danube?
Isn't that what it's called?
Danube.
Oh, okay. Blue Danube. I don't care. I'm not afraid to make a mistake. It's not that. It's not whatever the what's that other piece called in this movie that has to do with the primal religion and
Prometheus.
no, it's
No.
wrong. Gosh. No. Anyway,
There is one of the pieces of music does have to do with Prometheus.
it does. It does.
But
But
that's
it's-
probably not what you meant.
no, it isn't. Anyway, when the giant TV remote with no buttons appears, there's this like
Oh, yes.
it's this weird choral rumbly cacophony
Yeah.
nonsense under it. But there's also story wise some sort of high pitched frequency that they, like later on they hear
Mm-hmm. Right.
it in their ear
Yeah.
things
And then there's a hard cut.
too.
Like
Like a satellite.
yeah, well, and space, and you have it is now 2001 supposedly,
A Space Odyssey.
and
one
there
might say.
are astronauts
Yeah.
on a space odyssey, and they're going to a community on the moon, and then traveling out to Jupiter.
Okay, so we're gonna talk. This stuff in the middle is the most interesting stuff to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
So
and this is the most interesting act of the 4 acts.
yeah, and if people say otherwise,
They're wrong.
they're just
Or
sniffing their own
They're
smell.
on acid.
Yeah. Okay, so
More on that later.
what about the first chunk, or like just Kubrick movie starting, the tone of it, like pre space?
So the apes.
Yeah, like just like when you got through the first 20 minutes of this, what were you like? This is interesting, and Kubrick's obviously doing something here, or were you kind of like yawn? Because I think it's okay to say some version of both too.
I think it should have been 7 minutes.
Okay.
Like I
well,
appreciated it as
Yeah.
storytelling, but there's no dialogue.
There's a lot of ape noises.
There's a lot of ape noises.
Yeah.
And like at one point a leopard kills an ape and they're just
more people are going to know what we're talking about if we say this is just like the opening to Barbie.
Yes. Barbie imitated it.
Yeah. But like 2 minutes long.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I think it was interesting, especially if you're going to start to talk about what does it mean to be human and what does it mean to have consciousness and all of if these are the questions you're going for.
Yeah.
Great. But it was long.
It was long. I agree. I have some questions. Want to see if you can answer them?
I would love to hear the questions.
What are those pig cow things?
I think they're tapirs.
What is that?
A tapir is a South American four-legged
Pig cow.
pig thing with a pointy anteater-like nose.
Yeah. Those are funny looking. Those are some Dr. Seuss looking things.
And I think that's probably the point is that like I think he
Point? Like the nose?
is that I think he wanted an animal that like it was real,
But people are like,
but it looked otherworldly.
Yeah.
Like it's certainly to a North American audience or a
Okay.
European audience, it would have looked like.
okay. Well, we solved that one.
What is that?
Let me move on to my next one.
Okay.
What are the pig cow things? Good job. You answered that one.
Yeah.
What did you think about when there's like a music cue and it's like music is happening, doo-doo-doo, and then it just stops and he cuts to like a vista or whatever. Like
I didn't mind.
You didn't mind that?
No.
I was thinking when I was watching that was probably one of the first times anyone's ever done that. And it's cool in the movie because it's so like jarring in a way that I'm sure he was going for. I have now realized that like people picked up on that trick and I've seen it in like half a dozen movies in the last couple of years and I am so sick of it.
Okay.
Like there's like music is scoring the scene that stops. And it's like, oh, you just did that because you can, not because there was a real reason.
I like it in this movie, especially when highlighting the difference between the noise of civilization and the silence of space.
Sure.
And like having that really abrupt exchange.
Like the sound getting sucked out of the movie.
Like I think it works in this movie because of what this movie is doing.
Okay, last question before we move on to space because, it's part of the movie. Most of it. Solved pig dogs, pig cows, excuse me. We talked about music cuts. Oh, did you get any Night of the Living Dead flashbacks when that monkey was chomping on that leg or whatever? I thought about it for a second.
I did think, ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty good costumes. Like,
they're very good costumes.
If we go ape for ape, like these ones, I mean, not surprisingly, Kubrick attention to detail, but like these are guys in suits, and I think I read that mostly dancers and like movement people.
Honestly, the only thing that gives it away, well, there's two things that gives it away. One, they're acting.
They're in a movie.
And they're clearly
they
following
call cut
direction.
And they go have a smoke break.
The only other thing is that their proportions are off. So like
I think they're supposed to look like a Neanderthal, like not like a real ape, right? Like almost like a missing link.
Because
middle ground.
an ape would have a longer torso and shorter legs,
right.
and these are humans.
I think he's going for like this is an in between stage.
But it's like you put those guys in a zoo.
Yeah.
Like I might not notice initially.
And close-ups, like really crispy close-ups. They also throw in a couple like real baby chimps, which like next to each other. So anyway, good job on the apes, Stanley.
Yep.
Let's go to space. So when we go to space, the first thing that we see is like space travel, and the things in space travel are like kind of commercialized. So like the shuttle is a Pan Am space shuttle.
Yeah, they're using a lot of branding to try to kind of show that this is a normalized,
corporatized,
and like ordinary sort of thing people do.
It's also like that is all true, but there's only one guy on the plane shuttle, right? So that's obviously not like everyone's doing it already.
Well, I think that's also, I mean, I read somewhere that was trying to say how important it was for this guy to get there.
Yeah.
Like
they gave him his own plane.
That they gave him his own shuttle.
Jet.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
maybe it's probably cheaper to only have one actor in the scene than
also true.
40. Okay. In that scene, which is kind of a nothing burger scene, there's an amazing shot of the floating pen.
Yeah.
Which this kind of stuff, like Star Wars hadn't been made. People have not seen like floating things in space. Like
this movie to this day is still one of the best depictions of gravityless,
Yeah.
or alternate gravity situations. Like I was watching it, and I mean, I know how they do it. I can figure that out.
Sure.
But I was like, this holds up.
It really holds up.
It really holds up.
The floating pen is like, it looks so much better than like if it was a CGI pen or something, because it's just a pen stuck to a plane of glass that they moved around, but the glass was so clean and whatever that like, and then she just comes and picks it up off the glass and puts it back in his pocket. It's such a simple trick, but it's so crazy well done. I really enjoy how the flight attendants have weird marshmallow hats. Don't know why. Don't know why they need those, but they all have them. Okay, so this is like a hop, skip, and a jump to the part of the story that's the most interesting.
Right.
There's something going on a moon base. This guy is supposed to go figure out what it is that's going on.
So there's a human base on the moon, which would kind of like our International Space Station today.
Right.
And it's international.
Yeah.
I also thought it was interesting because on that shuttle, or when he arrives on the moon base, like the people he's talking to are very clearly from different nations, and most of them are Russian.
Yes.
And when you think about this as 1968,
Yep.
that's actually a really big statement to say, like,
We're going to be okay. Yeah.
we're compatriots with the Russians, and we're all working together, and we're all friends, and everybody's getting along. Like,
I noticed that too.
that's actually a
Yeah.
impressive thing to be saying in 68.
Good job.
But then, so these
And
five...
Russia hasn't done anything wrong since. So there's like they think there's an epidemic that's like a rumor. He's saying I can't say anything. So he gets there. He has a little conference, and he is Stanley Kubrick does have this thing in his movies about like secrecy,
right?
And like power and authority figures like having kind of sinister secrets. And so it's a smaller part of this story, but it's in there. And then we get to the tennis ball on the stick ship, which is the main main set piece of the movie, I would say. And we meet two characters who actually speak and have some characterization to them.
So there's 5 astronauts are going off to Jupiter for reasons. But 3 of them are in...
They don't know the reasons, actually.
Oh, yeah. 3 of them are in stasis, and so they don't count.
Yep.
And then you have these 2 who are awake, but there is a third entity.
Yes, and his name is Hal. Right?
Hal.
This is, let's give people another modern reference point. If you've ever seen the movie WALL-E, the like villainous computer in that movie is very much a takeoff on Hal, even with the red eye and all that stuff. So I noticed that the spaceship looked like a tennis ball on a stick. I also noticed that like right at the 1 hour mark, almost on the dot, is when Hal's eye appears.
Okay.
People don't talk for like 20 minutes in this movie. That's
Right.
another weird thing. You can clock Kubrick's movies and the stats are really strange. Like you can tell he was watching in the editing room, like it needs to be this long. It's too close.
Right.
Like a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I also noticed that in space, they have different forks. I don't know why.
Well, it was like their
Space
meals.
forks.
Well, their meals, they were like sporks.
They were space sporks.
They were because their food was all like goo.
They did have goo food.
Oh. Different colors.
Marshmallow-hatted flight attendants did bring them goo food. And
Like-
at one point he lets his hands up and it starts to float away. And he's like, oh, I gotta get that in.
So like all of their food is just coagulated.
It's basically baby food.
And so they're eating it with sporks.
And at one point they're just sucking it through a straw.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we meet the 2 astronauts. We learn that this computer exists. Its name is Hal. It's never made a mistake. It's quote unquote incapable of error. It's like working with people. It's programmed to kind of react and interact like a human. And the first thing that happens with Hal is that he expresses concerns about the mission they're doing. He says, I have a bad feeling about what we're doing here, Dave, or whatever. And so this leads to this like pretty, like if you just took this section of the movie and turned it into like a 30 or 40 minute short film, it'd be pretty tight. I would say,
it would
like
be.
and the quietness and the stillness and the way it takes its time with space silence and all that stuff, I think works really well.
Yep.
I'm a little tired by the time I get here.
Yeah.
All those apes and the conversation with the doctor that we just talked about takes a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I recognize like that this part of the movie is like interesting and has a plot and like has kind of a beginning, middle, and end in its own way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the middle, it's like the middle 35 or 40 minutes of a 2.5 hour movie in which both the other ends are homework.
Yes.
So, what in this section did you like? Because I think you probably all figured it out, right? Hal does not turn out to be like
No.
a really cool dude.
Hal essentially, yeah, they realize they need to shut Hal down or reboot him or something.
Because he
And
may have made a mistake.
right. And he seems to be acting against their best interests, they as the humans.
Yes.
But of course, Hal figures out that they're going to try to unplug him.
Yeah.
And so Hal
Unplugs some other people.
yeah. So Hal orchestrates basically the death of one of the astronauts, basically like launches him into space and takes out.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Like pulls out makes it so that he loses his oxygen. And
Yeah, my note for that section is Frank gets clawed and
Yeah.
goes flying.
yeah. And it's terrifying. It's in its silence because
Yes.
you're just watching him like tumble in space, and you kind of know he's already dead anyway. But is it Dave?
Dave tries to go after him.
Dave
in the
tries to
little pod.
get him
Yep.
and bring his body back, and then that doesn't work for a reason I was never very clear on.
Yes.
And so basically, he just becomes space junk.
Yeah, he turns
Yeah.
into an ice cube out there.
Yeah, he just tumbles away into space.
Yes, that stuff is freaky.
It is.
Like just the silence spinning through space and Dave. It's one of those weird situations in a movie where it's like Dave is alone in a pod and he's in a complete panic situation. And I think a lot of times in life, like I've talked to myself in those moments, but most of the time we shut down. We,
Right.
like go smaller.
Right.
And our faces probably don't do quite as much as if there were other people around or if there was an imminent danger like in this space with us.
Right.
So he just has to like get in the pod, try to find him, grab him, and get him back to the ship. And he is like stony. I mean, Kubrick in this movie especially, he's not like this with all actors all the time. You don't get Jack Nicholson giving an iconic crazy man performance in The Shining if Kubrick's not like a little more, please.
Right, exactly.
But in this movie, clearly the direction was like, everybody do less, a bit less. So that sequence is freaky to me, not because it's more freaky because the music isn't like Bernard Herrmanning, like
right.
while it's happening. It's just like you have to just kind of sit there and watch him sweat.
Yeah. I heard that he got a lot of criticism for exactly that, for these astronauts talking to each other very measured and very clear and clean and not a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
Very clipped, that's the word.
Yeah.
And until the space landing actually happened and people were listening to the audio.
And that's what it sounded like.
And that's what it sounded like because these are engineers.
Because he shot the moon landing footage.
But because these astronauts, they've got
freaking nerds with
they're
like,
they're
space
engineers
helmets on.
and military guys, and that's their background. And so they're
to the point.
That's what they got.
They're not like, how do you feel today, Dave? Okay, so I did write at one point, I have a thought about this part of the story,
Cool.
which I think is interesting. But before I get to that, I did write at this point, it's at this point in the movie where he's spinning through space, where I just thought, it's crazy that we go to space.
Yes.
Like I really it hit me while I was watching it. Like, like you guys, do you know what could happen if you're in space?
Yes.
This could happen. You could just get clawed by a evil computer and fly through space forever, and you're just that's it.
Okay,
It's crazy that we go to space.
I am going to confess my own hypocrisy.
You've gone to space?
No.
Oh.
There are things that people do
Yes.
that I'm like, why would anybody want to do that?
Sure.
And going to space is one of them. Like,
Yes.
there's a lot of people who are like, wouldn't you love? No, there is no part of me that looks at that and goes,
Yeah, I want to feel.
I want to do
nauseous from no gravity.
Absolutely not. The other one for me is like jumping out of an airplane.
No.
Like, no. I have no, like those of you who love doing it, I am so
love that for you.
happy and like keep it up and enjoy it.
As long as you don't die.
Yeah. But
splat
there is
like a
no
tomato.
part of me that's like, it would be cool.
Nope.
No. Now, what makes me a hypocrite?
Is you want to
Is
jump
that
out of a space
I
shuttle?
have, in my not recent past, but more distant past, traveled a lot.
Yeah.
And my passport is ridiculous. And there was at one point in my life, like 20 years ago, where I had gone to half of the countries on the do not travel list.
Sure.
Right? Like, so like,
You'll do that.
I'll do that.
With your feet on the earth
right.
soil.
I will go walk in places
Yes.
where they haven't cleared the landmines yet.
Yes.
I'll do that.
But I'm not getting in a spaceship.
But I am not.
Stay away from me, Elon. Yes. Okay. Here's my hot take on this part of the story. I think it's really good. I think all of what Kubrick is doing with the whole movie works really well here because there's human lives at stake. And I don't know, all the stuff about like how we interact with and depend upon technology. You know, if you just took this to a modern day conversation about AI, it's all super relevant.
Yeah,
it's,
for sure.
It's like a very fresh, has not aged at all kind of a thing. I have a nit to pick though. If when they go to the pod to escape Hal hearing them, there's an amazing shot. There's lots of amazing shots in this movie. Pretty much every other shot, I was like, whoa. Like it's one of those.
Yeah.
Every frame is like a painting. But there's this great shot. They go into the pod. They ask Hal to rotate it. They click off the mics. He asks them to rotate it again, and Hal doesn't hear them. And so he's like, I think we're good now. So there's two guys, and in the very back, between them, out of focus, you can see the red eye. It's kind of hard to miss, but also it's not like yelling at you.
Right.
And then they have their conversation. What are we going to do? Should we unplug him? Yeah, I think we should. Yada, yada. Ebert writes about this in his review too. He's like, and then Kubrick cuts to one of the most brilliant shots in all of cinema history.
Really?
Where we see Hal watching the mouths of the men and we understand instinctively that he's reading their lips. And I'm like, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Like he zoomed in on their lips and we were like, oh, he's reading their lips.
Yeah.
I think this part of the story would be better without that shot in it. I think if he showed them talking, they decide to unplug Hal. You see Hal's eye, but all the way back there, but still between them. It's you can see it through the glass, so he can see through the glass. You don't know that Hal read their lips, and then they go to repair the thing. He claws Frank, by Frank, Space Icicle, and then like the minute he says like open the pod bay doors, Hal says, I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that. And that's where you realized, oh, crap, he was reading their lips.
Because it's scarier to think, or maybe he wasn't reading their lips, or you could think that like when he says, rotate us again, and Hal doesn't do it.
Yes.
That was Hal intentionally
acting like he wasn't listening.
Acting like he wasn't listening. That is way scarier.
Way scarier.
It's way scarier.
Yeah. So Kubrick estate, just a couple notes, when you make your director's cut 2.0.
You really should check with us first.
Couple snips, we can help you out. Okay, so then this section does go into the next section, but there's a distinct like 20-minute ending on here that is like also its own thing, but it has carryover characters, which the other sections don't really have. I mean, you see a video of the doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
How does this movie end? How would you describe the last 20 minutes of 2001: A Space Odyssey?
I texted you while I was in this section.
You did.
And I said, this movie should come with a tab of LSD.
Is that when you did that? I would never have known. Yes, it's called Jupiter and Beyond the Infinite. My notes, I have very few. Would you like to hear them? I'll summarize the section for you. Obelisk, colors. And then I took a timestamp, 2 hours and 2 minutes to 2 hours and 11 minutes. That's how long you're watching colors fly at you on screen for 9 minutes.
My only note was acid is necessary.
I mean, I think like on the one hand, he is trying to do something here.
Clearly.
Then that thing is like, we don't know what it looks like to travel through light speed. Star Wars doesn't exist.
I didn't get that till later. I was just
that's fair. But like when you see
black hole, like he's going through a black hole or something.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know how he gets going at light speed, but you see him like start to jiggle, and then he's like, that looks like he's moving faster than anyone should move.
Yeah.
And then 9 minutes of color, and then the next time you see him, he's older.
Yeah.
Which makes you think about Planet of the Apes. Oh, we just traveled for this long, but it was this long, or like there's some funky time bending stuff.
But when his little pod abruptly stops, suddenly he's in a room that the walls and ceiling and floor look like spaceship, but all the furniture is straight from Versailles.
Yes, it like is
very Frenchy,
not Victorian, but like French, like stuff,
like 18th century French.
I'll leave the naming of the centuries up to you. Not this century.
It looks like it was decorated by the people who did Versailles.
Yes, but it's also all kind of creamy white. The floors are glowing, but then there's traditional
French furniture
stuff. Yeah. So we cut to that room. The pod is in there.
And he's old.
Dave is in there. So these are the characters in this scene. We have old Dave.
Old Dave.
And then old Dave goes to the bathroom. I don't know if he has to tinkle. It's been a long travel through space or what. But he hears a weird noise. He turns around and he sees
Very old Dave.
Wait, hold on.
Sorry.
Older Dave.
Older Dave.
He's eating some soup or whatever.
Something.
Breaks a glass. Turns and sees oldest Dave.
Yeah, the Dave in his final moments.
Lying in the bed. And then I wrote obelisk. It's just every time it appeared, I wrote it again. It's in his room. And he like reaches out for it. And then baby Dave.
And then there's a fetus.
Yeah, I think it's baby Dave.
Is it? I thought it was representative of all humanity. But then it's floating in space.
Agreed. It is floating in space.
And
then
the
it's
size of a planet.
And it stares at me, the
Yes.
viewer, a little bit.
And even though it is
Baby Dave.
yeah, it's also its face looks older. Like
it kind of has his eyes and bone structure.
Like
Yeah.
in a way that I think.
That's why I call it Baby Dave.
Yeah.
Because it looks like him. So
and then there's a lot of music that makes me think I should be feeling something.
Yes, it's
It's the music is saying this is the most important thing you've ever seen.
Yes.
And it should be creating the most important thoughts you've ever thought.
Well, let's get to the wrap up and decide if this movie, which is at least saying it's important, has anything else to say. Okay, so this is the question about this movie, right?
Okay.
Clearly, it's an important movie. I do think it's an important movie for the 60s. It's an important movie for the industry and like all that stuff. Like this movie exists so that you could have Star Wars and we could have space travel represented on film in all the ways that we
defined a genre.
Yes, and like how Night of the Living Dead said, "Here are zombies," and we said, "Okay, movie." This said, here is space travel. And then it turned out to be just correct about a lot of it.
Right.
But also that looks good on screen. So
there's a lot of like just single clips from it that I realized I had seen clipped in other places and assumed was Star Wars.
Yes.
Like it's like so clearly aligned with what Lucas later did.
Sure.
With Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the ship coming in diagonally and kind of taking a while. That is the opening
and like the
shot
bay,
to Star Wars.
the bay that they land in.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think there's no question there. This is not what makes a movie good to me. I think like a movie can exist and be important, but I gotta feel something.
Yeah.
And the modern day like protege of Stanley Kubrick is Christopher Nolan. Like this is Christopher Nolan's favorite movie. He made an Interstellar.
Yeah.
Because he loves this movie. My issues with Christopher Nolan as a storyteller and a filmmaker are kind of similar to my issues with Kubrick. I think he's worse at writing a script in some ways.
Kubrick?
Nolan.
Okay.
And better at like making his characters feel like human beings.
That's what I was going to say. Like I've watched a few Nolan films, probably not as many as I should have, but
well, whatever. Who cares?
Whatever. But the ones I have seen, I have connected with the characters. Like
there are characters to connect with.
There are characters to connect with who I care about. I care what happens to
them.
them.
And they're all dead wives. That's all you can write is dead wives. But yes. Anyway.
But so I would rather watch a Nolan movie.
I think I would
any day of the week.
I think I would too, because at the end of the day, it's just like, is this what Kubrick said it was, what Arthur C. Clarke said it was, which is like, if you think you have this movie figured out, then we've made it wrong. Which, like, are you kidding me? No, I mean, I know.
It. No, the you in my statement was not you. The you was them.
Yeah, I got it.
Like my last comment, my last note for here was art or pretentious BS.
Yeah.
Because this whole idea of artists, and it happens in every type of art, who are like, if you understand me, you're wrong. I just want to be like, long walk, short pier, buddy.
There is value in creating a piece of art, making a movie, painting a painting, whatever, that like prompts more questions than it gives answers.
Sure.
If the conversations that come out of it, I mean, like I read a bunch of caca after I watched this, and I was like, okay, so what are the big schools of thought? What do people think that this represents and that represents? And like, sure, people have some ideas, but like most people's conclusions are like, but it really exists to be this ambiguous thing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well then it's not saying a whole lot, right? Like we understand that like mankind, you know, at some point didn't kill each other and now it did. And we repeat that cycle today. And we understand that like, you know, technology and mankind have this, whatever, like a relationship that is potentially volatile and has bad outcomes that could, you know, we get that.
Yeah.
And I think like the third piece of it, which is sort of obvious, is like, I think Stanley Kubrick's idea is that like, you know, there are like quote unquote aliens in this movie. They're just only spoken about in like 2 offhand lines.
Sure.
Right. The reason they were going to Jupiter is because they're like, by the way, we found out that extraterrestrials have existed, and this obelisk thing is a proof of it because it's 4 million years old. And it's like, okay, we never see them.
No.
They're not characters. The only thing they contribute to the story is this blank slate of a thing.
Right.
That when you like touch it, you maybe gain knowledge.
Yeah, or it's like the way they phrased it was like you jump up the evolutionary ladder.
Sure.
So which is why the apes change.
So we go from apes to people to from people to
floating babies,
giant floating baby heads. That's the next link in the chain. So I'm like, if it's only asking questions, it's asking questions that everybody asks.
Yeah.
And it's not like, by the way, here's my interesting ideas about these big questions. It's just like, aren't these questions crazy, basically?
Yeah. And I'm not saying that art, movies, film, whatever. I'm not saying that art like needs to be immediately understandable and contained, right? Like I've been reading T.S. Eliot's The Four Quartets for 20 years. There's still parts of it I don't get.
Yeah.
But I think Eliot knew what he was saying.
I think so too. Yeah.
Right? Like, and the fact that I am still working on figuring it out just means it's a great piece of art. But if you have a movie where the creators are saying
it's designed,
we don't know,
to give you,
then I'm like, really?
Yeah. So, this is our final thoughts section. I have one more question.
Okay.
If you had to chop out 20 minutes, would you chop out the first 20 or the last 20?
Last 20.
Maybe not. You'd leave all the apage.
I mean, if I could like split the difference, I probably would.
No.
Okay.
You can't split the difference.
Okay.
All the apes or all the old man babies?
All the end.
Okay.
Because I think the apes, as much as I think it goes on too long.
It's not just swirling colors hitting you in the face.
It's not just swirling colors. And I don't know where the French furniture came from.
Yes. Well, yes. I just think like the only thing I get out of that imagery is like it's the mix of new and old mushed together, right? Which is like when you go from apes to mankind, he may be trying to say like this is where we came from and we're still kind of there, but we're moving forward because now we're in space and now we were in space and now we're in this weird room that looks like, you know, Versailles, but a space station somewhere.
Well, it's asking some of the same questions that Planet of the Apes is asking, which is what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be an animal? Like where is the line between human behavior and animalistic behavior? And
is evolution of mankind and its
right.
Yeah, possible.
Like I think it's
You're right, they are the same movie. People die while they're sleeping in both of them?
Not a lot of girls.
You're right.
Yeah.
But they do get marshmallow hats, so yay women.
The Russians get to talk a little.
She does assert herself.
There's a daughter.
For a moment. She does get to have a birthday as far as we know.
As far as we know. So I guess, you mentioned Dinner with Andre earlier in some context.
Yeah.
And I have a similar question for this movie that I had for that movie, which is...
Why? Just why?
Which is like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
There's a thing that I think we all recognize we do with books or music or whatever, where there's these things that like everybody says is amazing.
Yes.
And culture changing. And that like, if you're cool or intellectual or like in the know artistically, then you will love fill in the blank.
Or you have to like it.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
This
are
is
you
one of those?
Are you cool enough to like the thing that everyone has decided is cool?
Like what book? What book is the top book that does that?
Okay,
thing?
for me, it's like, well, the one I'm on the other side of, it's like Thoreau's Walden.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No,
Don't like.
I don't like it.
Not for me.
And
Yes.
everyone's like, it will change your world. And I'm like, go live in a cabin.
Not if I throw it away.
But,
Yeah.
and so this movie is absolutely one of those things
Yeah.
where it has this like cultural cachet. And I just look at it and go,
Yeah. It does get thrown around like that. Like people know it's important, but they also go like, oh man, but it's just so like, I love it. I'm like, how can you love watching something it's more like a science experiment than it is like, hey, come into my world and let me tell you something about myself. Stanley Kubrick is not interested in that.
no.
So
Last week, I think, I said something like, if
zombies? Is that what you said?
Probably. I probably said that too. I said something like, if you tell a really good story, if you have a really good narrative and strong characters, you will end up saying something interesting. Your movie will end up saying something interesting.
Yeah, it was something about story and theme or theme
But
and
if you
story.
go ideas first and prioritize the ideas at the expense of the narrative and characters, you will often end up not being interesting on any level. And I kind of stick with that.
Yeah. Would you rather watch this or Planet of the Apes?
Oh,
I know. It's such a hard choice. They're both so good. I'd rather watch Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
And I didn't love that movie, but...
No, it's pretty bad. So the questions. Is this worth your time? That's question one.
Weirdly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm letting you go and then I'll explain your weirdly upturned yes.
I am not mad I watched it once.
Sure.
Because I do think it is beautifully shot.
Yeah.
It is the symbolism and just the picture of it is beautiful.
Yeah.
The music is gorgeous. It's a soundtrack that you just listen to regularly. It just is beautiful classical music. So like none of that is bad.
Yeah. I agree with that. Here's what I'll say. Like, it being worth your time or not. You can watch it once. You can watch it at home, like whatever. If you're a completist, you want to like be the movie guy, you got to watch it. Great. I really let's just skip to the next question.
Sure.
How often would you rewatch it?
Never.
Never again.
Never again.
That's why I'm kind of upset. Like, I'm not mad I watched it. Like you're saying, you're not mad. I'm not mad I watched it because it was like so hard to get through. Even for a movie with like weird long stretches of silence and apes for 20 minutes and flying colors, it never irritated me. But I really wish, because I'm not going to rewatch it. Like, I don't know what reason I would need to rewatch this if I was writing a paper on it or something.
Right.
I really wish I had watched it once and that it would have been in a theater.
Yes.
Because I'm not like, this is the weird thing. Like, I will watch a movie and be like, that would have been better in a theater, or I would like to go see that in a theater.
Yeah.
I know this would be better in a theater.
Right.
But I'm not going to go watch it in a theater now.
I know it. Well, here's the trade-off.
Yeah.
I know it would be better in a theater.
Yeah.
However, part of the way I got through it
was knitting.
Was having other things around.
Yeah.
And like being able to walk into my kitchen and get a snack and like take a breather.
Yeah.
Because I think if you would put me in a theater, a dark theater watch, I'd be asleep. Like I'd just be out.
Yeah.
And so I do agree.
You'd wake up and there would be French furniture and you'd be like,
And I wouldn't have a back button.
Okay, well, not everybody made it back from space alive. I think Dave did, but I'm not sure.
No, he died on that spaceship with the French furniture.
Yeah. But he became a giant space baby.
That's true.
That's great. So we're done with the 60s, but we're going to take one more lap and bring you our very special, extra special new season ending wrap-up extravaganza spectacular for the ages next week.
Don't you dare miss it.
Don't miss it.
Let the movie speak.
Thanks for listening to Let the Movie Speak.
If you enjoyed the episode, or even if you didn't, subscribe, leave a review, or tell a friend about the show.
Or just walk into a room and announce your opinion about movies.
That's basically how this podcast started.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get these things into your ears.
Thanks for spending some time with us.
Until next time.
Let the movie speak.
It's been trying to this whole time.